Great. Okay, so well, welcome to the third episode of Damon is Hungry. Live in front of a studio audience. And as you can see, we've changed location for this week. We're no longer in the kitchen of the ministry center at St. Anne's. We're in the parish hall. And it's hot, really, really hot. Third time. That means you've got fed twice.
Yeah.
So are you still hungry?
Kind of.
You kind of.
Yeah. Until we finish all that.
Okay. So in this particular episode, because it's a hot day, what we're going to do is a very light Italian salad. Very easy to make, very refreshing on a hot summer day, and a great time, a great salad at the time of the year when tomatoes are fresh off the vine. We're a little bit earlier than the tomato season, but hopefully this will work out.
We have so simple.
It's a very easy salad to make. It's very simple, but it's very refreshing on a hot summer's day. Okay. You could use it as a meal all by itself because it basically has your protein and your vegetables mixed all together. You've got mozzarella cheese, which is a fresh cheese, a very light cheese. Mozzarella cheese. We've got nice beefsteak tomatoes, extra virgin olive oil, and a very good one because we're going to pour this on top. So the olive oil has to be really, really good so that the flavor comes through. Can't be cheap olive oil. It's got to be really good olive oil for this. And then we're going to be using sea salt. And the thing with sea salt is the crystals with sea salt are very, very, very large. And that's going to give us some texture difference in the salad, meaning it's going to give us a bit of a crunch to it when you eat it. So you know a table salt? It's got little tiny, tiny crystals. Well, and so what I'm going to do is you can see, you can get a close-up of that, Kevin, that the crystals for the sea salt are very, very, very large. And so that's going to give us a little bit of texture. When you eat it, it's a little bit of crunch.
It's not just like for the flavor.
It is for the flavor, but it also gives a bit of a nice mouthfeel. Okay? So you get a cheese ball, and I get a cheese ball. So what we're basically going to do is tomato, 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 tomato. What we're going to do is we're going to just slice up the tomatoes thin. Okay. The real challenging part is going to be slicing up the mozzarella thin, because it's a little bit challenging because we actually don't have a cheese knife or a cheese wire. We just have a regular knife, and sometimes it's going to be a little hard to push down, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is start off with just slicing the tomatoes this way, so along the length. Yeah. Okay. So again, the idea is that we're going to probably just discard the end bit, and what we're going to do is, as best as possibly you can, what we're going to do is get them nice and thin. It helps with tomatoes if you have a very, very sharp knife, because if you don't, then what usually happens is that you squish the tomato into a big kind of wet mess. So for the most part, what we're going to do now is we're going to just open the packet of cheese once you've got your tomato. So what we're going to do is, we're just going to do slice, but thin slices. You don't want them too thick, all right? Okay.
Wow.
So these little balls of mozzarella cheese, they got kind of squished in transportation. So what we want is a really nice big round ball, so they produces nice little round slices as opposed to these oval slices. And so next what we're going to do is do a little bit of layering. So what we're going to do after you've cut all the cheese up is we're going to layer the tomato and the cheese together, but in alternating layers. Oh, watch your fingers. Okay, so this is where we make it look pretty, okay? So what we're going to do is a slice of cheese, a slice of tomato, a slice of cheese, a slice of tomato. You getting this? Slice of cheese. Yes, you do have to do that. You just can't go blop with the cheese on the tomato. You have to make it look pretty, or if it doesn't look pretty, people won't eat it, right? So what thing we're going to do is we're going to take the leaves of basil, course, we've already washed the leaves, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And then all you're going to do is rip the little pieces of the leaves. You're just going to rip them up into little pieces, and then you're going to sprinkle the little pieces on top of your tomatoes and cheese. Now, basil, if you smell it, has a very strong smell to it. Yeah, if you taste it, but very strong taste. So it's nice because the cheese is a bit of a neutral flavor, but the basil is going to add a powerful taste. And because it's a light cheese and a fresh cheese, the cheese flavor will not overwhelm the flavor of the herbs.
So how much is basil?
How much?
Like a box?
What you can do is, if you don't want to pay any money at all, you can grow it in your backyard or in a little pot in your kitchen. But if you need to buy it, maybe a couple of dollars for a package of basil.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you like need a half a stem for a cake.
Yeah, you need, I don't know what we would say, maybe a quarter of a cup of basil. And this one doesn't have to be pretty, because all you're doing is just tearing the basil up, right? Okay, next step. Now, you have to be careful. What we're going to do is we're going to drizzle olive oil over top.
Okay.
Drizzle means very, very slow, thin stream, not a big drop, right? So you just have to watch and with your hand and just gently do a drizzle of olive oil as our dressing, okay?
So this one is the good olive oil.
Yeah, so what we want is extra virgin olive oil,
Extra virgin.
because olive oil comes in different grades,
Okay.
and extra virgin means it comes from the first pressing of the olives.
Oh.
Mhm.
So that's the best.
High quality. This is the one that you use when you want to just eat it, not cook with it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how much is it?
Well, depends where you get it, but that can be very, very expensive.
Oh, okay.
So,
Like several dollars?
oh yeah, yeah. So good, I mean, a really good quality olive oil can cost you almost like $30 a bottle.
$30.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this won't, because it's a small bottle and says about $15.
15.
Yeah.
But you can like use very.
Yeah. It's also supposed to be good for you. It's supposed to be good for your heart. Olive oil.
That's it.
A little bit more. So, I mean, drizzle all over. Okay, so now that we've added the olive oil, the last step is to sprinkle everything over with,
Really easy.
it's really easy. So I'm just going to pour it in my hand and then sprinkle from my hand rather than here,
Okay.
because if I do that and shake, it'll again go plop, a big drop. So what you want to do is then sprinkle sea salt over top.
This thing.
Yeah. And there we go. Very artistically done. We're well sprinkled. Okay. And there we go. We have ourselves a Caprese salad. This is what I made. And
No, I didn't. I didn't make it.
so viewers, you be the one to judge who did it. But not too bad on your first attempt.
Yeah.
A little rough on the tomatoes, but not too bad on the first attempt. Now, if you want to have a glass of wine with this, then what would be really tasty is a glass of dry Riesling, which is a white wine, and the grape that the wine is made of is called a Riesling grape.
Riesling?
Riesling, and a dry Riesling would be good. But today, actually, if William could just go into the fridge and pull me the bottle. So instead of having a wine today, what we're going to do is we're going to use a Belgian beer. And so this particular Belgian beer, which is Chimay, will go well with the, can't even speak English today, will go well with the cheese. But a nice dry Riesling wine would go really, really good. Even an off-dry wine, off-dry Riesling would go good. But a dry Riesling would go good with this. But we're going to do some Belgian beer with it. Okay, so there we go. We've come to the end of today's episode of Damon is Hungry.
Then I'm thinking.
Yes. And join us for episode number 4. And for episode number 4, Damon is going back to China for a little period of time.
Unfortunately.
So what we're going to do is a Damon is Hungry without Damon, and we're going to do a summer barbecue recipe for that. So stay tuned for a summer barbecue
Yes, stay
recipe.
tuned.
And then you're back in September,
Hopefully.
and then we'll start again with more recipes with Damon.
Yeah.
And let's see if we can fatten you up and
Okay.
so that you're not hungry anymore.
All right.
Okay.
See you.
See you next time on Damon is Hungry.